What up, YouTube? Welcome back to Life with Chi. Today, I got kind of a different video. I kind of figured out how to do this reaction shit, so we finna see if you can react to some videos real quick. I ain't gonna lie, this is kind of last minute. I don't really know what video to react to, so I'm gonna just kind of show you the kind of videos that be on my page and shit, that be on my feed. That's not even my main shit. This is just like another YouTube channel that I'll be on, but like, I don't really be on this channel because I be getting ads and shit. I don't really fuck with the ads and shit that be on YouTube and shit. I don't really like that shit for I ain't lying. But it's alright though. We're gonna find something to watch. Perfect. 7 things you should avoid if you want to be rich. I want to be more than rich though. I ain't lying.
Having an e-commerce store and a brick and mortar store, keeping track of inventory was a headache. Being able to use
If you don't want to be like everyone else, then you have to make the sacrifices others aren't willing to make. That's what my
Turn this shit off.
mentor told me when I was in my early 20s, and it stuck with me ever since. I started out with no qualifications and no money, but still managed to become a multi-millionaire. And a big part of that was down to avoiding the 7 things I'm going to be sharing with you today. The first thing to avoid is working for only money.
Quick question though. How much money do y'all want to have to say like, okay, I made it, like I got enough money. Like I don't have to work no more. Like what's your limit? What's your amount for you to say, okay, I'm good now? Like, for some people it's a million. So for some people it's 500,000. For some people it's 100 million. For some people it's a billion. What's your limit? My limit personally is $1 billion. Cause I feel like $1 billion is the new million, if that makes sense. Cause with the whole inflation shit and everything going up and shit like that, you can get $1 million, you buy the couple shit that you want, you back to a couple hundred thousands. You feel what I'm saying? I mean, 100 million is cool too, but like if you trying to own businesses and do all this and that shit gonna go like that. You feel me? I feel like $1 billion is like the perfect amount for you to do literally anything that you ever want to do in life. What about you? Let me know what down in the comments what y'all think.
Imagine for a moment that you got a boring but well-paid job. You quickly start stacking some nice cash as your earnings grow. Your friends will think that you're absolutely killing it, and your parents will probably be pretty proud too. However, over time, your earning potential would start to plateau. This is path A. Now, imagine instead you get a challenging but lower paid job. You might struggle for a couple of years as you improve and adapt. You may even struggle to pay the bills. Your friends will probably think you're falling behind, and your parents may not agree with the path you've taken. However, over time, your earning potential will start going through the roof. This is path B. So, what's the difference between these two examples? Well, path A prioritizes money early on, whereas path B prioritizes 2 key things: skills and equity. Every self-made millionaire I know has followed path B.
Learning the skill is very important. That's the first step to becoming rich. You gotta learn a skill that you're very good at. If you don't know something that you're very good at, how the fuck you plan on being someone very successful? You feel me? How the fuck are you supposed to be credible to whoever the fuck you trying to, sell to? You gotta master a skill.
Only way to build that kind of wealth. As I mentioned, I left school at 16 with no qualifications. However, I immediately went out looking for jobs and actually got offered more than 5 opportunities. So I had a big decision to make. Which should I choose? I decided to become a carpenter's apprentice. The pay wasn't great, but I knew the skills I'd learned would be extremely valuable, so I prioritised those. There was no way I was going to get equity in the business, but at least I was working for more than just money. That job taught me a lot, and although I was forced to quit after being relentlessly bullied by my manager, I still use many of those skills today when I'm designing.
My nigga, god damn, what the fuck does that mean? Nigga was beating your ass every day you came in or some shit? How the fuck do you get relentlessly bullied? No, that's kind of crazy.
My best-selling brand of radio-controlled planes that I sell across the world. By learning a wide range of high-income skills, it makes it almost impossible for you to ever be broke again, as you become your greatest asset. I like to think every job I had when I was younger added to my skill set like a Swiss Army knife. Nowadays, I'd recommend prioritizing online-based high-income skills such as copywriting, video editing, and coding. The demand for these skills is only growing, and I can speak from experience that there is a huge skill shortage at the moment. Sure, there are lots of people doing those things. However, 99% of them are just not up to standard. Honestly, your competition really isn't that tough. Now, let's move on to the second thing, equity. This just means owning.
The competition really isn't that tough, nigga. There's a lot of the niggas that you're competing with. Bro, just go outside and see what everybody is doing. That's the niggas you're competing with, bro. Don't look on your phone and say and look at all these famous rich niggas and think these. I mean, you're competing with them too, but like you're not competing with them yet. Them niggas is on a different level. You look at the people on your level. Compete with the niggas on your level first. Elevate from the people on your level first, and then when you get to the next level, that's your next set of competition. It's like it's like it's like, you know, when you play sports in school. I don't know if y'all niggas play sports in school, but like in middle school, that's your competition, the middle school niggas. And then when you get to high school, you start to play the high school competition, then college competition, then eventually the NBA competition. Like, you're not playing the NBA competition in fucking middle school, nigga. You're not going against the fucking high school competition when you're in fucking elementary or pee-wee or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, focus on people that's competing on your level first, because those are the niggas that you gotta beat before you can even get to that next level.
In a percentage of a business so you can benefit from the profits. My radio control model brand is a perfect example of this. You can gain equity in a few different ways. The most obvious way, and the way I did it, was to start the business myself. However, you can also gain it by working for it if you're extremely skilled in certain areas. This is known as sweat equity. Lastly, you can purchase equity in certain businesses, although I wouldn't recommend this as much unless you have the skills that can help accelerate that business forward. My friend Simon Squibb often goes around in public telling people to start their own businesses or ask for equity from their boss. While I 100% agree with the sentiment, you need to have some self-awareness with this. Firstly, it's worthwhile working for someone to gain skills before starting a business of your own. Secondly, you need to be realistic. I didn't think for a moment that I'd get equity in the carpentry business when I was an apprentice. So when you ask, make sure you have a solid case for why you deserve it and how you can add value to the business instead of just taking from it. You need to first focus on becoming someone worthy of equity. The main takeaway here is that too many people get blinded by money, forgetting the importance of skills and equity. This is the biggest trap. The more you obsess over earning just money, the less you'll likely make in the long run. The second thing to avoid is buying a luxury lifestyle. Picture yourself cruising through Dubai's sun-drenched streets in a bright yellow Lamborghini. You pull up to a swanky restaurant and order a $500 fillet steak without batting an eyelid. How does imagining that lifestyle make you feel? Pretty successful, right? Well, here's the truth. Most people you see living this way are far from successful. The majority are paying for cars they can't afford, taking trips to Dubai on credit cards they'll spend 5 months paying off, and ordering steaks at Salt Bay's restaurant that leave them with a bill they can't handle. These people are living a lie, pretending to be rich while drowning in debt. It's all smoke and mirrors, as it's much.
No, facts. Don't be that niggas. Don't be them niggas that borrow lifestyles. I was watching Sauce Walker fucking live, and he was literally talking about this shit, bro. He was basically saying how a lot of motherfuckers like to take all these pictures and go on these expensive dates, go on these trips to these places and post these pictures and make it seem like they're living a certain lifestyle, but really they're not living that lifestyle. The places, the B&B that they stay in, now somebody owns that shit. The yacht that you're on, somebody owns that shit. You feel what I'm saying? You want to be the nigga that owns that shit, that's renting it out for these people to come get on your shit. That's the real wealth, man. Just trying to make yourself seem like you this and that. It's not it. Because you're really not that. You're tricking yourself to be something more than you're not. Like, stay within where you are, bro. Like, don't try to like impress other motherfuckers. Because at the end of the day, these niggas don't give a fuck anyway. All they want to do is try to figure out how they can get rid of what the fuck you have. So why are you trying to impress these niggas? Why are you trying to make it seem like you living this certain lifestyle? Nigga, look at Offset. That nigga is struggling right now. But hey, we ain't gonna speak on him. He got a whole nother addiction going on. That's a whole nother thing. But real shit though, don't just borrow these lifestyles. If you really want to live it, if this is what you want your lifestyle to be, nigga, you gotta own that shit, not borrow it. Cause that's what you're doing when you going on these trips and shit for like a couple of days, maybe a week. Nigga, you're borrowing that lifestyle. That's not you for real.
Much easier to impress others on social media than build real wealth. Seeing people live these luxury lifestyles might tempt you to start playing the flexing game too, as you feel like everyone is living a better life than you. However, this is far from the reality. In fact, 37% of Americans can't afford unexpected expenses over $400. 39% worry they can't pay their bills, and 60% of American households can't afford to buy a new car. Once you've made your millions, you can buy whatever you want. That's the point of becoming wealthy. However, in the early days, you can't live like a king and build wealth at the same time. Instead of buying depreciating items like flashy cars, designer clothes, and dining in expensive restaurants, invest in assets such as stocks, shares, crypto, and real estate. These assets will increase in value and generate income that you can then use to do whatever you want. The third thing to avoid is doing everything yourself. You might be really great at what you do, but no matter how hard you try, you'll never be able to outcompete a group of talented people working together. Look at anyone who's made it big in sports or business. If you do some digging, you'll see they all had help. Let's take Elon Musk as an example. On the surface, it might appear like he's a genius entrepreneur who's achieved everything single-handedly. However, that couldn't be further from the truth. He was part of the group that launched PayPal. When eBay acquired PayPal for $1.5 billion in 2002, these newly wealthy tech experts spread across the industry like a virus. Now they're known as the PayPal Mafia, as they've become such a powerful group. After leaving PayPal, they started many successful companies. These include big names like YouTube, Yelp, LinkedIn, and SpaceX. They often invest in each other's projects and give advice. But what if you're not aiming to launch the next billion-dollar company and instead just want to earn some extra money with a side hustle? Well, a lot of older business owners are kind of lost when it comes to everything tech-based and using the internet for their companies. I mean, a lot of them don't even know there's online tools for literally everything, whether it's managing your team, handling invoices, keeping track of projects, or even building a website. I don't blame them, as back in the day, we didn't have any of these things, but now the younger generation has a real advantage. So if these older business owners don't know how to do a lot of this online stuff, and they understand they can't do everything themselves, guess who they need? You. You can help them bring their businesses into the 21st century and make a lot of money in the process. It's all well and good saying this, but how could you actually do it? Well, if you want to give this a try, then I'd recommend using an all-in-one management platform. Odoo is a great choice as it includes the tools I just mentioned and more all in one place. Here's a great example of a website that do e-commerce. Got the option.
The promo, bitch. We don't care.
Paging.
We don't care. Nope, no promo over here, buddy.
Imagine being able to build an app with your name on it, just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44, a complete AI.
You can make some serious cash
still doing promo.
and are also cherry on top. Odoo offers a personalized domain name for 1 year. So if you have too many inputs, do you ever feel like you're being pulled in a million different directions? This happens with everything in life, from side hustles to fitness training. Everyone seems to have a different opinion on what you should be focusing on. It can look a little bit like this. This is you, and these are the people telling you what they think you should be focusing on. For the sake of simplicity, let's just call them inputs. All these inputs create hundreds of paths you could follow, like becoming a doctor, entrepreneur, joining a family business, getting a stable 9-to-5 job, traveling, and having a family. Let's call these your potential paths. The sheer number of these pathways can create something called cognitive.
The only way, the only way somebody's opinion will affect you or cause you to make you want to do something that you feel like that you don't like, because you got to think, man. When people see that you got potential, when people see that you that guy or that girl that can really do this shit and can really like make shit happen, they want to be a part of that, and they want to be a part of that in a way where they feel like they kind of like own it, if that makes sense. Like not own it, but like in a way, as in like, oh, if you do make it, I'm the one who gave you this idea, so like I gotta stick around. You gotta help me out. You gotta give me money. You gotta do this. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, fuck all that shit, man. Like, nothing. Anyway, you can tell me what you think, and I might listen to it, but at the end of the day, I'm gonna still do whatever I think is best.
Overload, which is where your brain simply can't cope with the overwhelming amount of information and choices. So what's the solution? Well, I've always started with my end destination in mind and worked backwards. Of course, I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do in the future. However, I had a decent idea. I then made sure to only listen to inputs that helped me reach those targets. The clearer your goal, the easier it becomes to select the right inputs to help you achieve it. So limit the number of opinions you receive and prioritize quality over quantity. Most people have too many opinions being thrown at them, but not from experts. Cut out general opinions and instead seek expert advice. This could come from a mentor, someone successful in your field, or even educational videos from experts like myself. By doing this, you'll get more valuable, focused, and specific guidance for your end goal. Remember, even when you work your way backwards, you still don't need to know everything at once. Fully listen and implement what you learn from an input. And then when you're facing another challenge, you can seek out more inputs that'll help you overcome it. If you don't do this, then you'll get mental fatigue, which can lead to decision paralysis.
Do this, do that, do this, do that. But you doing this and doing that, it's just gonna end up. You're gonna end up in the same spot they're at when you're their age. Is that where you want to be when you're their age? I don't think so. I know that's not where I want to be when I'm their age. So I'm not gonna sit here and listen to what the fuck y'all gotta say, because at the end of the day, y'all not steering me in the right direction, bro. Y'all not steering me where I want to go. Y'all just telling me some shit so that I can be comfortable, so I can be a little bit better than you, but kind of in the same position as you. You know what I'm saying? I don't like that shit. Oh, I muted him.
Of being lazy, but in reality, your brain just gets overwhelmed. The fifth thing to avoid is being ego-driven. Let me start by saying this. Arrogant people won't even finish this video. They think they already know everything, so why bother sticking around? But that's exactly the problem. Arrogance blinds you to the opportunities that could genuinely change your life. Ego-driven people are often too focused on the big picture, constantly dreaming of the end goal. This might sound productive, but it's a dangerous trap. When you're always looking too far ahead, you end up overlooking the small but crucial steps that lead to true success. For example, some might be tempted to scroll through this video just to see all 7 things rather than sitting down and actually absorbing the knowledge in each one. But by doing so, they miss out on the valuable insights that could fast track their journey. When you're too egotistical, you start to believe that you don't need advice from others, especially those who might know more than you. You might just miss the wisdom of people who have already walked the path that you're trying to take. But here's the truth. True wealth isn't just about being confident. It's about having the humility to keep learning, to understand that you don't know it all. And that's where the real growth happens. The more you learn, the more you realize how much you don't know.
And that's so true. No cap. The more you learn, the more you realize what you don't know. Like, learning is a lifelong thing, bro. Like, don't never think you're too good to learn something from somebody. But at the same time, you gotta learn from the right people. If you're not learning from the right people, you're gonna be learning the wrong shit. And eventually you're gonna end up going the wrong path. You know what I'm saying? So learn from the right people, not just Learn everything. Learn from the right people. Learn from the people that's in a space that you wanna. That goes back to the opinion shit that I was talking about a little earlier. Like you gotta learn from the people that's in the position where you wanna be when you're their age. You feel what I'm saying? Take advice from them. See what their mistakes were. See what they did to get to where they at. You know what I'm saying? And try to, you know, put it in your own style so that you can do what you want to do for you. You know what I'm saying? But I ain't gonna lie. That's enough for this video. I'ma fuck with y'all on another video. I hope y'all niggas stay cool. I hope y'all niggas stay true. And yeah. Adios.